If it's reality TV, we want all the drama. But did these stars take it way too far? Who told who to rot in hell? Or walk out there in a diaper? The trash talk goes next level starting right now. Keeping Up with the Kardashians is full of Kim and her sisters treating each other like garbage. In public, they say that the family gets along great, but the show has shown that's not always the case. Kim and Kourtney fight over everything from parenting to guys. And as the years have gone on, they've also gotten into it over their own fame. One such argument in 2019 saw the sisters at odds over Kourt's dedication to the show.
I'm just so over glam. I honestly don't want to film.
This annoyed Kim, and the argument escalated to the sisters scratching and punching one another, drawing blood. Kim later explained to Jimmy Fallon,
I feel like it's been a lot of built up resentment from Kourtney. Everyone was really shook for a minute.
Other fights are more of a war of words, like the time Kim told Kourtney she was, quote, the least exciting to look at. Kourt later revealed on Kylie's YouTube channel.
And I was like, why would someone in my family say something like that?
For the record, the two have since made up. Race car driver Arie Luyendyk's season of The Bachelor was one of the most dramatic ever. Leading up to the shocking finale, Luyendyk began his media apology tour early, foreshadowing something bad. He told People magazine, I know people are going to be hard on me. I made a mistake, and I'm prepared for the backlash. Still, no one could have anticipated what actually went down. Fans quickly learned that Luyendyk had changed his mind after initially proposing to Becca Kufrin. And on the After the Final Rose special, rather than having a private conversation with his fiancée, Luyendyk broke off the engagement in real time and went back to the runner-up, Lauren Burnham. The breakup was filmed using 2 simultaneous camera angles, a move that the show tweeted as the first completely unedited scene in reality television history. Luyendyk received widespread condemnation for the move, including from former Bachelor Sean Lowe, who tweeted, I don't like this one bit, shouldn't have filmed. Kufrin agreed, telling People, it was embarrassing the way he broke up with me with the full cameras and crew around. There was a better and more tactful way to do it.
I was at fault. I shouldn't have got engaged when I did. I made a big mistake.
RuPaul's Drag Race is especially fun when a cast villain emerges in the workroom, causing drama that the judges don't see on the runway. And that was definitely the case with Season 9 favorite Valentina. The judges loved her looks, but the other queens weren't having it. And that led to co-star Aja's legendary takedown of how little Valentina had to do to get attention.
She could walk out there in a diaper, and they're like, Valentina, your smile is beautiful.
It's fitting, then, that Valentina was eliminated from the show in one of the most shocking lip syncs of all time, for refusing to remove her mask. When Valentina was later voted Miss Congeniality by the fans, the queens had it, officially. Co-star Farrah Moan pointed out that Valentina had suddenly become too good for the cast after the show, adding,
we were such close friends, and you literally have not spoken to me in almost 5 months, and I really miss my friend.
But upon her return for All Stars Season 4, Valentina gleefully played into her villain edit. After getting a mildly negative critique, she staged a meltdown in the workroom, telling the other queens, ladies, I'm boiling. My blood is simmering through my veins, and I have some things to say, okay? Survivor tells its contestants to outwit, outplay, and outlast. Season 1 winner Richard Hatch took that to heart, becoming the first ever villain of the franchise. And not only was he leaving it all on the table, he was leaving nothing to the imagination. Hatch, who is gay, later told For Real, the story of reality TV, that ditching his clothing was a strategy to get the straight camera guys to leave him alone. He revealed, they were following me, and literally I would watch them go, ugh, and turn away and go somewhere else. And I realized, oh, if I'm not wearing any clothes, they're not gonna follow my around. But his co-stars didn't appreciate the strategy. When Hatch returned for Survivor All-Stars, he rubbed himself against fellow contestant Sue Hawk during a challenge. He was voted off that night. Hawk quit the show the next day because she was so upset, telling The Early Show, I just kept reliving the incident. It just kept eating into me more and more like a cancer. Many years later, Hatch was left out of Season 40, Winners at War, because of how he had behaved. As host Jeff Probst explained to Us Weekly, We were in a different time and different culture back then. Selling Sunset star Christine Quinn is one of modern reality TV's hottest villains.
I live for it. I love being the villain, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
But, of course, this often means treating her co-stars like scum, and fans of the show have watched Quinn repeatedly talk down to her castmates. For example, basically the moment new real estate agent Chrishell walked through the doors of the Oppenheim Group, Quinn warned her.
As Britney Spears would say, you better work.
She also revealed intimate details about Chrishell's divorce in the press and sided with her ex, Justin Hartley, on camera, even though the two were supposedly friends at that point. Her on-screen behavior finally caught up to her in season 4, which revolved around Quinn being on the outs with the girls because of how she had treated them. But it's not just her on-screen behavior they object to. Apparently, Quinn loves spreading rumors about the other stars of the show. Chrishell told Vulture that she even had to threaten legal action. And after Quinn told Page Six that co-star Heather Rae Young's relationship with HGTV star Tarek El Moussa was reminiscent of Spidey on the Hills, they were furious. El Moussa told the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast, "Listen, just because she's never been famous before and she doesn't know how it works, she doesn't have to talk." In the 2000s, British TV star Simon Cowell created the template for mean reality competition judges. In addition to the way he outright mocked and dismissed the opinion of fellow judge Paula Abdul, Cowell treated many contestants on the show like American Idol leftovers. His savage insults were legendary, like the time he told one hopeful to sue her vocal coach. He once told the Los Angeles Times of his judging strategy. "If they believe they are great, good luck to them. But if they come to our audition and they want to be told the truth, they will be told." But one of Cowell's worst moves ever was his prank on his America's Got Talent co-host, Sofia Vergara. Cowell brought back previous season daredevils Ryan Stock and Amber Lynn, who helped make Vergara think she was involved in a carefully planned stunt to shoot a crossbow at a balloon, while Cowell stood nearby. But while Vergara was blindfolded, they fitted Cowell with a mock arrow protruding from his chest.
Hey Simon, please don't let them make me do this.
He went ahead with the cruel prank anyway, leaving Vergara visibly upset. But, ever the good sport, she put on a brave face for the cameras.
Gotcha!
The cast members of Floribama Shore have all treated each other poorly at one point or another. But no one has gotten into more arguments than resident bad boy and romance novel cover model Gus Smyrnios. And he seems to be spinning more out of control the longer he stars on the show. In season 2, Smyrnios handed his roommate Kirk over to the cops after a bar fight, taking their side rather than protecting his roommate. Luring Kirk toward the police waiting in the hall, he claimed,
"You have to, dude."
Then, in season 3, things got worse. Though his bromance with roommate Jeremiah was the foundation of the show in its early years, the two had a violent falling out over Southern state loyalty that spelled the end of Jeragus. Jeremiah recalled on the show, "He was looking for a fight last night, and for some reason, he picked it with me." In 2021, when his one-time hookup Nilsa became pregnant and engaged to someone else, Gus lost it. He and his roommate Candace got into an argument where he helped himself to her hairdryer and then threw a tantrum and ran away from the house. Production had to then go out and find him, sending him into quarantine due to possible coronavirus exposure. If we were to list everyone on Vanderpump Rules that Jax Taylor disrespected, we may as well just name the entire cast list. From the breakdown of his relationship with Stassi, to the way he alienated his former best friend Tom, through the homophobic remarks about Ariana and insults aimed at trans star Billy, Sir's bad boy bartender made a lot of enemies during his time on the show. So instead, we'll run through just some of his biggest offenses. When Jax finally admitted to cheating on Stassi on the season 1 finale, he revealed that he'd been lying the entire time. In season 2, word got around that he had slept with Kristen, Tom's girlfriend and Stassi's best friend, while Tom was sleeping in the next room. And he cheated on Britney too. Audio of his post-coital convo with castmate Faith caused major drama in season 6 when Britney heard it, leading her to later suggest,
You deserve right now.
Finally, he even treated Lisa Vanderpump like trash, telling her on the season 8 finale,
This is why my show is successful.
That's actually not your show, it's actually my show,
but
okay?
this is
And I
why.
put your ass on it, so don't be disrespectful to me.
Vicki Gunvalson was one of the first villains of the entire Real Housewives franchise, with the Real Housewives of Orange County, and she has stirred up numerous arguments with her co-stars during her years on the show. For example, she once spread rumors about Shannon's husband's affair, leading to an intense throwdown. She also erupted when co-stars Bronwyn and Tamra drunkenly kissed, announcing, "Do it off camera. I started this show. We don't do that." But the worst was when she admitted to lying about whether her then-boyfriend Brooks had cancer. It's unclear whether she knew the whole thing appears to have been faked, but she definitely knew at least part of it wasn't true. There were also false medical records presented to the media and stories about medical treatments that never happened. And through it all, there was a persecution complex that saw her once shout,
I'm being nailed to the cross like Jesus was.
She finally copped to having lied about her boyfriend's cancer treatment on the reunion, admitting,
I fabricated because I really was looking for compassion from somebody.
On Dance Moms, Coach Abby Lee Miller was just trying to teach girls to dance. But most of the show's drama wasn't just about which girls would place where at competition, but how unkind Miller would treat them and their mothers. She repeatedly insulted the girls' looks, telling one mom that she needed to get plastic surgery for her daughter's ears.
Why would you do that to my daughter? I didn't do it to your daughter, I did it to you.
Another time, the moms revealed that Miller had insulted Chloe's physical appearance behind the scenes. Her mom tweeted, Abby actually made fun of Chloe's face caused by a medical condition there, not her dancing. As USA Today reported, in 2016, Miller faced a prison sentence for charges of fraud. We're not going to call it karma, but we won't stop you from calling it that. Few reality villains have spawned as many iconic gifs as Tiffany New York Pollard. Star of Flavor of Love and I Love New York, one of her most enduring memes is from the time she went off on co-star Hottie when Hottie claimed she looked like Beyonce. New York went on to also insult Hottie's appearance.
Beyonce? You know who you really look like? You look like Luther Vandross.
She also brawled with co-star Pumpkin on the reunion episode. But these days, Pollard looks back on her reality TV fame fondly, admitting to pop culture, I mean, in that moment, I have to say I was having a blast. I really was. Jersey Shore was a perfect storm of mayhem, from the situation's abs to Snooki's, well, Snooki in general. But a decade on, it might be easy to forget just how badly Sammy was treated by Ronnie Magro, her co-star and on-again, off-again boyfriend. Their most iconic argument stemmed from the infamous note that Snooki wrote to her roommate that read, Ron made out with two girls and put his head in between a cocktail waitress's breasts. Multiple people in the house know, therefore you should know the truth. The incident led to one of their many breakups. But Magro's worst behavior occurred the following season, when he went on a violent rampage. After screaming in Sammy's face, he tore through her room, destroying it. Later, he shouted,
I got girls cooking me dinner. I've been with you for a year. How many times you cooked for me? None, you useless spoiled.
Sammy refused to return for Jersey Shore family vacation, even though Magro admitted he still had feelings for her. He confessed on the show, I think I just missed the feeling of security because that's what she gave. The pressure cooker environment of the Big Brother house often leads to explosive arguments. And while most seasons have multiple feuds where house guests find themselves going at each other's throats, the intense situation with Aaryn Gries on Big Brother 15 was something new. She treated her castmates so badly that the show had to post brand new content warnings for viewers, according to E! Gries was consistently racist towards her co-star Candace. The controversial star was also homophobic towards Andy, the first gay man to win in show history. But her overt racism was the main issue surrounding her time on the show. In addition to telling fellow house guest Helen to, quote, shut up, go and make some rice, the Daily Mail noted that she adopted a mock black accent, which she used to craft her insults.
What you gonna do, girl?
See the black
what you
girl
gonna
come out of
do?
you.
When she was voted out of the house, host Julie Chen confronted her with a number of things she had said on the show. Gries tried to claim that her remarks were, quote, taken completely out of context, evidently forgetting she was filmed 24/7 on the show. Her remarks literally could not possibly have had more context.
Great, that was aired?
Yeah, it was all aired.
All the way back in 1994, David Puck Rainey was one of the first ever reality TV villains, and he caused numerous problems for his roommates on The Real World San Francisco. He was openly disrespectful of their belongings and personal space. And as the New York Post noted, he blew snot rockets all over the house and ate from everyone's peanut butter stash with his bare hands.
I don't use utensils ever. Your fingers make these cool shapes, you can kind of just, whoa.
Worse, though, was the way Rainey treated his housemate Pedro Zamora, who was a gay man living with AIDS. Puck's homophobia and constant mockery of Pedro's accent were so unrelenting that Pedro tried to move out of the house. Instead, the housemates voted to evict Puck. After he was eliminated, Puck told the Chicago Tribune, "Tell them all I'm glad they kicked me out of that stupid house. I got my own peanut butter now." According to TMZ, Puck has been in and out of prison ever since. But tragically, Pedro died just hours after the season finale aired. He is warmly remembered today for his trailblazing HIV/AIDS activism. As fellow cast member Judd Winnick told Entertainment Weekly, "People place him on a pedestal, and they should, but to us, he was just a friend. He was a wonderful person with an illness." If you or a loved one has experienced a hate crime, contact the Victim Connect hotline by phone at 1-855-4VICTIM or by chat for more information or assistance in locating services to help. If you or a loved one are in immediate danger, call 911.